Welcome back to Home Chef Cooking in Rosalind's Kitchen, such as it is. Anyway, I have my third and final meal for this weekend or week. I won't get any more meals until Thursday. Can't swear that I'm not going to be cooking between now and then, but chances are not. So, let us begin. Alright, today's meal is Parisian Bistro steak. And it is intermediate and not spicy, which is good, which is very good. And this is what it should look like when I'm done, God willing, and the creek don't rise. Alright, I need to provide olive oil, salt, pepper, a medium pan, a medium frying pan, a cooking sheet, and a casserole dish. I've already sprayed it with cooking spray. Alright, but I am adding one other thing. I am adding a small pot because the recipe is calling for me to fry my green beans. And I have not had any luck with the frying of my green beans. So we're going to be, after we've cooked them a little bit in the frying pan, then I'm going to be putting them in a little pan so that they can, like, get tender. And my father isn't going, oh, these are crunchy. Okay? So, also, since this is steak, I must have my hammer so I can beat on it. This is good for breaking down the tissues and making it tender. And it's also good for frustration. I mean, there is nothing like beating the heck out of a steak to help you relieve your stress. Now, what they provide... Alright, they provide me with the green beans, and as you can see, because these haven't been waiting around for like 5-6 days, they're looking very good. Also, Yukon Gold potatoes, a shallot, butter, beef demi-glaze, meat, 4 ounces of cream, and they provide shaved Parmesan, which are going to be going in my potatoes. But because my father and I dearly love cheese of all varieties, I'm going to be adding some Parmesan cheese because I'm just that kind of person. I'm a wild and crazy gal. So let's get going. Alright, now the first thing I have to do is slice my potatoes. And this is called a mandolin and is very, very dangerous, which is why once I get down a little closer to the end, I'm going to use my little mandolin holder, because I know from very good experience that you can slice your finger open in no time whatsoever with these little suckers. So, and then that gives me nice, evenly cut potatoes. Alright, so now I have all my potatoes that are cut, and they are nice and even, and I am ready to move on to the next part, which includes putting them all in my pan here, and yeah, there, thank you. Now I will put some water over this just to cover the top of them, and like just a little bit of salt, and I'll put them on the stove to boil. after which they will, while they're boiling, I'm going to start cutting up my other stuff. Okay, so now I need to cut the ends off of my green beans, which, like I said, they look much better for not having sat around for like forever. And I'm putting them in my plastic plate here. Plastic plate is one of the really good plates, so I will be using it multiple times tonight prior to chunking it out. Or if it's not too bad, maybe washing it. But since one uses plastic and paper plates so that you don't have to wash them, washing it would kind of like defeat the purpose of the whole using a plastic plate. But they're such nice plates that, you know, I just hate to throw them away unless, you know, they get cracked or something. So I don't know yet. But the point is that if I want to throw it away, I can. I don't have to wash them. So, cutting of the beans. That sounds almost like passing gas, you know. Anyway, fortunately, these are not the kind of beans that give you gas. My mother used to say that every time she ate beans, they gave her gas. And she even had a little poem that she said to them. Beans, beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. The more you toot, the better you feel. So let's have beans with every meal. I said this once to someone at Cracker Barrel, and my manager got all over me because she said it was inappropriate, which I'm like, it's cute and maybe a little gassy, but I don't see how it's inappropriate. But anyway, to each their own, and you kind of have to listen to your boss. Well, you have to listen. You don't always have to do, but you do have to listen because they are the boss, and you're paid to listen to them. But if what they're telling you is a mistake, not necessarily in that case, but if what they're telling you is a mistake, then you need to either go to a higher authority or just do it the right way, you know, and hope that you can ask for forgiveness afterwards. Anyway, here we go. As I'm finishing up the beans here, I just thought of something that I'd meant to say before, but I didn't because I was brain dead, which happens to me on a fairly regular basis. I would like to give a couple of shout outs of thanks to one, Sunny Benny, who was my very first subscriber and surprised the heck out of me because I was like, wow, I have a subscriber. And also who asked me when I was going to post again. So if you are ever looking for a cool site, go visit Sunny Benny. I returned the favor by subscribing to their channel too. That one looks horrible. I'd also like to give a shout out to Eleanor Lynn Myers, who is probably my oldest friend. We've been friends since 4th, 5th grade, which was a long, long time ago. And she told me when I left New York, I'm a Navy brat, so I moved around a lot. She told me when I left New York that we would be friends forever and that she was never, ever going to lose track of me. I did not believe her because I'd had many friends come and many friends go, and I just didn't really think that she could keep up with me. I was wrong. She never, ever forsook me. So we have been friends, and she sent me a comment. She's the one that noticed that the first farmhouse chicken didn't load right, and she sent me a comment saying that I am not boring, which made me feel very, very good because, Lord, I need that sometimes. Sometimes I just feel like, well, I just feel like a failure. And so I just really want to thank Lynn for giving me that encouragement, and for all the other people who have subscribed to my channel. I hope I won't bore you or anything, and I hope to keep making cooking videos. Now at this point I have peeled my shallot, and now I must mince it, but I'm going to use 1/2 in one thing and 1/2 in another, so I'm going to kind of mince them separately of each other. And my thing is trying to fall over on me. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to mince the first half in this one. Let me see which one. One of them is going in the potatoes. I think I'll use that one. And one of them is going in the sauce, so I think I'll use that one. So for the potatoes, because, as I've said before, give it a little bit of cutting to begin with before you start mincing. The other one I'm going to mince in my other chopper. It's good to have 2 choppers for things like this when you've got double mincing to be done, because that kind of, that means you're not having to clean out from one chopper to chop in another. And the only thing is that when my father does the dishes, he asks me, how are these things supposed to be cleaned? And it is true, they're not easy to clean. They can be a real pain to clean. Now, this one is a little bit easier just because it comes apart. And voila, you have lots of room to clean. However, this one I like better just because it's not going to fall apart on me. This one can sometimes come open at inappropriate moments and you're like, ah, my chopper just fell apart on me. So, now I have for the potatoes and for the sauce. Now I must pat my steaks dry, season them, and then beat the living heck out of them. Alright, so these, they say season with 1/2 teaspoon of salt on both sides, and a sprinkle of pepper. And now, turn them over and repeat the process. Now, to beat them. I use the bags to cover them, and then I use my hammer. I don't like using the hammer on the straight meat, which is kind of what my mother would have done, but it gets meat all up in the little thingies, and that can be nasty as, I don't know, I don't like it. So I my steaks using the plastic to protect them and protect me from getting splattered by anything that gets pounded up from it. See how cathartic this is? You beat on it and you imagine the people that annoy you. You think of those people that say evil things to you, who make comments that they think are funny and aren't. I'm not talking to anyone specifically, so anyone watching this, don't go, oh, she's talking to me. I'm not talking to you. There are other people that irritate me. I'm not saying that there aren't people I know who irritate me, but I'm not necessarily talking to you. All right. That steak needs a little bit more on that. There. All right. All right, so my potatoes have cooked. I don't know if you can see the steam rising from them, but they have. And now I'm going to add the cream. And in this case, I'm adding all the cream. Okay, so all the cream has been added. Half the shallots.